Hey guys, Mr. P. In this video, we're going to talk specifically about Objective A224, which is structures common to cells in all living organisms. Within the video, we're going to focus on DNA as the genetic material, the fact that cells have a cell membrane composed of lipids, and that cytoplasm is composed mainly of water. Also, we are going to focus on the reasoning or the reasons for the structures enclosed within all cells. So to begin, we have to identify two different cell types. So we have on the left a prokaryotic cell, and on the right we have a eukaryotic cell. Obviously, these are artistic renditions of these two cell types, but it's important to note that while we're looking at artistic renditions, we can still get structure and function from them. And so both cell types, or all cell types, have DNA as their genetic material. Eukaryotes are going to contain a nucleus, which is going to be a double membraned structure that encloses the DNA, kept within a core called nucleolus. Within a prokaryotic cell, the DNA is going to be kept within a nucleoid region, which is not a nucleus. Notice there is no membrane around the DNA or the genetic material, but both cell types do have DNA, and that functions to give the cell a form of inheritance. Both cell types, or all cell types, have ribosomes. Now, in a prokaryotic cell, ribosomes are going to be in the form of 70S, while in eukaryotic cells, the ribosomes are going to be in the form of 80S. Both ribosomes have the exact same function, meaning they produce proteins. They link amino acids in a complex process called translation. But the type and size of ribosome differs between cells. Now, prokaryotic cells are much smaller, and so they need a smaller cellular machinery. The ribosomes, which are 70S, are going to be smaller than the 80S ribosomes that are enclosed within a eukaryotic cell. And in addition to the DNA and ribosomes, all cells have cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is the water-based fluid that fills up the inside of the cell. There is a cytosol component. There are a lot of enzymes and a lot of molecules within the cytoplasm. But the cytoplasm gives the environment that the organelles kind of live in. Outside of the cytoplasm is the cell membrane. Notice that in these two cells, the cell membrane is purple. The cell membrane is composed of two layers of phospholipids, and we've had other videos that highlight the structure and function of the cell membrane. But all living cells, or all living organisms, the cells that make up those organisms, have cell membranes that are composed of these phospholipids. Now, on prokaryotic cells, or within prokaryotic cells, there are structures that are outside of the membrane, like a cell wall and potentially a capsule. In eukaryotic cells, the cell membrane can be the outsidemost layer in the case of an animal cell, but they can also include a cell wall in the case of a plant cell. So DNA, ribosomes, cytoplasm, and cell membranes are the four structures that are common to cells of all living organisms. If we now focus on kind of the functions of these four cellular structures, DNA, like we said, is universal. It's contained within all cells, but in the case of prokaryotic cells, remember, the chromosome is not enclosed within a nucleus. It is out in the cytoplasm, and so it is not protected. Also, while we're talking about the DNA structure of a prokaryotic cell, this chromosome is singular, meaning there is a single chromosome, and it is circular, meaning it is a continuous loop of DNA. So prokaryotic cells have a single loop of DNA. It's a single loop chromosome. There are often plasmids, which are extra accessory DNA within a prokaryotic cell as well. In eukaryotic cells, not only do we have these chromosomes that are contained within the nucleus, but these chromosomes are linear, meaning they are not looped, and there are multiple in the case of most animal and plant cells. So you have multiple linear chromosomes that are enclosed within this nucleus, and you'll notice a difference. When you zoom into the actual structure of the DNA, there are these things called histones, which are small spool-like proteins that link together into sets of 8 that creates a octamer. And that octamer is wrapped twice with the DNA, which creates a structure called a nucleosome. And so when we talk about eukaryotic cells, all eukaryotic cells and prokaryotic cells have DNA. DNA is one of those universal structures that are common to all living things. But within the cells themselves, eukaryotic cells are going to have a nucleus that they contain their DNA within. The eukaryotic DNA is going to be linear and multiple chromosomes. They are going to be associated with these histone proteins, unlike the DNA that is kept outside of a nucleus within a prokaryotic cell. These do not have histones, and so their DNA is said to be naked. All living organisms use DNA as the genetic material. The use of the DNA code across all forms of life is evidence of the universal common ancestry. We've talked in class about LUCA, the last universal common ancestor. We've talked about the origin of cells and how cells are believed to have arisen. But now, looking at some of the more recent discoveries, like the discovery of DNA, it does give us even more evidence for the universal ancestry or the universal common ancestry of life on the planet. The cell membrane is another one of those universal structures that are found in all living things. The cell membrane is composed of two layers of phospholipids. The heads are oriented out, the tails are oriented in. That gives rise to a really effective barrier that separates the interior from the surroundings, meaning it separates the inside of the cell from the outside of the cell. There are a variety of other structures that are embedded within the cell membrane also. You have cholesterol, which are those little kind of Velcro sticky molecules that hold the phospholipids together. You have a variety of integral and peripheral proteins. You have transport proteins. You have carbohydrate chains hooked to these glycoproteins. So there's a variety of other structures within the membrane, but for the purposes of this video, we're just going to highlight that the cell membrane is one of those universal things that are found in all living cells. The membrane is a bilayer formed from phospholipids as a consequence of their hydrophobic and hydrophilic regions. Remember, the heads orient out because they are polar and hydrophilic, and the tails orient in because they are hydrophobic, which is the reason for these channel proteins in order to get polar and charged particles through the membrane without interacting with these hydrophobic or these nonpolar tails. Cytoplasm is another one of the common structures that are found in all living things. Cytosol is the liquid part of the cytoplasm. It is a gel-like fluid substance made of water and many dissolved solutes such as salts, fatty acids, sugars, amino acids, and proteins such as enzymes. So there are a variety of structures within the cytoplasm that allows a lot of biological metabolic processes to take place within the cytoplasm. Both eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells contain the cytoplasm. Even though prokaryotic cells don't really have membrane-bound organelles, they still have that fluid-like substance that contains all of their sugars and fatty acids and salts and proteins and amino acids that are required for metabolic processes. All of those dissolved substances are needed to carry out the metabolic processes required to keep the cell alive. And like I said, those are all of those biological metabolic processes that we've talked about in the past, which are anabolic and catabolic reactions. The last structure that is universal to all living things are the ribosomes. Now, we said that in eukaryotic cells, the ribosomes are 80S, and in prokaryotic cells, they are 70S. But the purpose of ribosomes is that ribosomes catalyze the synthesis of proteins, which are also called polypeptides, during a process called translation. And like I said before, prokaryotes have the 70S ribosomes and eukaryotes have the 80S ribosomes. Now, the last thing that isn't really necessary within this video, but we're going to include it, is that ribosomes can either be bound in eukaryotic case. Okay, again, we're talking eukaryotic cells. The ribosomes can be bound to the rough ER, which they are here, or these ribosomes can actually be free in the cytoplasm and connected to cytoskeletal components like microtubules. But whether they're bound or free, the purpose of the ribosome is the same, and it is to create these chains of amino acids, which eventually get folded and matured, chemically modified into three-dimensional proteins that end up being used for different biological processes once they're turned into mature enzymes. That's it for this particular video. Again, we talked about the 4 structures that are common to all cells: the cell membrane, cytoplasm, ribosomes, and DNA. If you learned something, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.